talk about this. I remember us doing some of these back in 2019, 2020, as we were trying to introduce people to cyber risk insurance and, why it was valuable. And it's funny, I don't even really think about this anymore now because I think we see it enough in the news where it's fairly understandable why it's valuable, but obviously this is still important for some.
Well, I don't know, real quick. The value proposition really is, I think, you know, the the value proposition in my view, it's certainly a financial risk transfer like any other insurance. And I think, people on the surface look at it like that, like it's, you know, general liability insurance is slip and fall. You're really thinking, well, we need somebody to pay that claim. We need somebody who's in financial obligation. With this policy, it's more of a a product, and the financial recovery is just one aspect of the product. And you understand this, that most companies, particularly I'd say companies under $1 billion even, but most of the companies that we work with would never know who to call if they came in the office one day and they were locked out of the computers. They wouldn't know who to call, you know, and they don't understand what they need. They don't understand they need, really fast legal advice to let them know, what statutes are, apply to them in terms of reporting, what regulatory agencies, like let's say HIPAA, have, reporting requirements. They may not know somebody who's in the forensics business. They can get in really fast within 24 hours and sort out what's happening. They probably don't know anybody in the remediation business, the public relations business. So these are all vetted services. So this is as big a part. We call it risk mitigation. So it's an event's happened, but what are you going to do to keep the cost down? And so they offer a package of pre-vetted, third-party providers to help manage a claim. One thing I do want to say about claims, so that everybody really understands this and has the right expectations. When you have a property insurance claim, you're dealing with one person. You're dealing with an adjuster. And so, you know where to go to. You don't have to talk to a bunch of different parties. You talk to the adjuster. He manages all the parties. With cyber insurance, these can be really frustrating claims. And the best of responses can even create some frustration because, where you have one property adjuster with a fire loss, you could deal with a lawyer, a separate forensics, a separate mediation, separate public relations group, separate forensics accounting people. And so it can be, it can be really challenging. These claims can be challenging. So you want to get, the insurer engaged as quickly as possible. And the good ones, our response is, within hours. We know about that. We can get, one of these lawyers, a regulatory lawyer on the phone, with cyber expertise on the phone in a matter of hours. We can get computer forensics people dialed in with a matter of hours. So that's a really big part of the product. The other part is, we talk a lot about vetting. A lot of insureds like the idea that they're having somebody from the outside of maybe their IT consultants or, whatever they're doing in-house, kind of kick the tires on their risk and let them know, relative to others in their industry where they stand. And so whether they buy the insurance or not, they can get a risk assessment that most of them will gauge them, relative to their peers in terms of, what protection levels they have and, whether they're, are we seeing open ports, we're seeing patching issues, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
In a nutshell, that's about it.
Yeah. And I think the validation and being able to rank yourself is also, we'll meet IT directors. And one of the things we try to do, like, especially with like these webinars and some of the discussions we do with, like different associations, is giving them little nuggets that as an IT director, as somebody who, as a part of the IT team, you can take back to other stakeholders and say, this is why what I want to do is important. Because sometimes the IT director they don't necessarily have the time to go and sell their idea, but if they can get a couple of kind of sales bullet points, sometimes that can be the thing that gets greater buy-in. And if your whole organization isn't moving in one direction as it pertains to your security posture, your overall IT strategy, it's going to be really, really challenging to kind of stay safe and do the things you need to do. Because if everybody's touching your technology, everybody needs to at least be moving in a general direction with it too.